Are we doing the GU video right now? Hold on, one second. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. My favorite Monster Hunter game, though I haven't played all of them, and if we only count the games that I've completed all the content that's available, then it's only Rise. Still though, GU is my favorite Monster Hunter game, and at first I wasn't exactly sure why. Which is actually why I wanted to make this video. I've been playing GU a lot recently, trying to figure out what makes this Monster Hunter game stand out to me among the incredibly large number of them, and I think I know why. For any who aren't familiar with GU, let me give you a quick rundown. GU is an expansion of Generations, and the two games are meant to be celebration titles. Because of this, there are 4 main villages, 3 of which are villages from other Monster Hunter games. You've got Kokoto from 1st gen, Poke from 2nd, Yukumo from Portable 3rd, and the last village is a new one for Generations called Bherna. Generations and Generations Ultimate are unique because they kind of have 6 flagships in total. For Generations, you have a flagship home to each village. You have the Fated 4. Kokoto has Astalos, Poke has Gammoth, Yukumo has Mizutsune, and Bherna has Glavenus. There's also the Sortorium, which is Valstrax's village, and the Hunter's Pub, which acts as Bloodbath Diablos' village, I guess? The Generations games have 6 flagships. That's already a big standout between the other games who normally have 2 to 3. On top of this, GU has one of the biggest large monster rosters with 93 large monsters. Even though most are old faces, there are some new ones, and boy are those ones good. You also have a new class of monsters called the Deviants. These monsters, you need a special permit in order to hunt them, and they also have different ranks to them. EX, I believe, is the highest. Once you get into high rank and G rank, which is old gen master rank, you will need more than 1 permit to hunt them, and currently there are 18 deviant monsters. Other than the monsters, combat gets a fun twist with hunter arts, styles, and my favorite, Prowler mode. Weapons have 6 different styles to choose from. Guild, which is your standard kit. Striker, which I believe adds a new move and takes away a different one. Aerial allows you to dive up into the air and strike back down. Adept gives you a special dodge. Valor kind of gives everyone its own demon mode from Dual Blades. And Alchemy, where you get to shake a barrel and random things come out of it. Each weapon has its own hunter arts, which are basically special moves. If you've played Rise before, it's basically the Wirebug moves before Wirebug moves existed. And Prowler mode is pretty simple. You get to play as your Palico. I'll talk more about that one later because I got a lot to say about that. That's all you need to know for this video. The reason why I think GU is my favorite Monster Hunter game is a combination of nostalgia, favorite monsters, favorite weapon, and a lot of good memories. I do want to focus on that first part, nostalgia, because, well, how can I have nostalgia for a game that I only started playing in 2024, and I only started getting into the Monster Hunter series in 2023, and I didn't even know of the franchise before that? This is actually something I've talked about with Beaufriend, because we both feel nostalgia for this game, yet only knew about and started playing the Monster Hunter games in the 2020s. Our working theory is the art and music style reminding us of our childhoods. We both played a lot on our DSs and 3DSs as kids. That era of games had a unique style and vibe to them. Generations and Ultimate were likely being worked on in the early 2010s and were also released on the DS and later on Switch. Generations was released in 2016 and Ultimate in 2018, yet we've been playing through 3U as well, another early 2010s Monster Hunter game. And neither of us feel that same nostalgia for 3U as we do GU.
Hey, Editing Disco here. I was actually wrong. Beaufriend does feel nostalgia for 3U like he does with GU. It's just me who doesn't feel that same nostalgia for the game. My bad.
I do wonder if when we make our way to 4U, if we will feel that same nostalgia, since 4U and GU are closer in release dates than 3U and GU. My current theory on why we feel nostalgia for GU and not 3U is because of what GU is. As mentioned earlier, GU is a celebration title. It's meant to encapsulate the last 12 years of Monster Hunter with its greatest hunts. Even the cutscene at the end of the village quest is a unique celebration, which, can we talk about this for a second? Because I love this song and this adorable cutscene so much. It's just filled with so much wonder and fun, which maybe that's why we have nostalgia for this game. GU has a lot of whimsy and wonder placed all throughout it, from its music to its hunts to its armor to just even being able to play as a Palico. Like, I feel like that's pretty whimsical and silly. GU has an insanely large roster, so it stands to reason that most of my favorite monsters are in this game. This is the only game that has Gammoth in it, and if you haven't watched the Stories 3 video, she is my second favorite monster. I've been fighting her a lot recently, trying to get all her armor and weapons, and the more I fight her, the more I just love her fight. Whether I'm doing it as a hunter or prowler, it's fun. Her music is one of my favorite themes, too. Her armor designs are just chef's kiss. Her weapon designs are beautiful, too. Personally, my favorites are the hunting horn, hammer, and sword and shield. I love it when they make hunting horns and they're just really cool guitars, because it looks sick. Gammoth is also an important part of GU since she is a part of the Fated Four, which themselves are all just amazing monsters. I truly love each of them so much. As stated before, each of the Fated Four has a village that's home to them in the game, which is kind of funny for me because my top two favorite monsters both come from Poke Village, Gammoth and Nargacuga. I think each monster fits really well with their village, and all their fights and themes are just amazing. And Mizutsune's roar is so good. I don't know what the hell they put into it. It ticks the brain very nicely. I love it. Friend pointed out to me something interesting about the Fated Four that I didn't realize, and I'm sure a lot of other people have realized this, but I still want to talk about it. Each member of the Fated Four has a major weakness and a minor weakness. Pretty standard for a monster, right? However, each monster counters their minor weakness. If you look at the chart that I've made over here, Gammoth, an ice monster, has a major weakness to fire and a minor weakness to thunder. Ahtal-Ka, a thunder monster, has a major weakness to ice and a minor weakness to water. Mizutsune, a water monster, has a major weakness to thunder and a minor weakness to fire. And finally, Lavinus, a fire monster, has a major weakness to water and a minor weakness to ice. We got kind of a circle going on here. Gammoth counters Ahtal-Ka, Ahtal-Ka counters Mizu, Mizu counters Glavenus, and Glavenus comes back and counters Gammoth. Though Mizutsune has lost its minor fire weakness in later games, because it gained fire. But that's besides the point. This unique group of 4 flagship monsters, all representing different elements and having very different designs and fights, they're really special to me. I love them all. They're amazing. Go Fated 4. Please, can we have all of them in a game again? Please. Come on, Wilds. I know you can do it. Put Gammoth in Jindahad's arena. If Jindahad can share with Omega, they can share with Gammoth. Alright? I realized while writing the script that I have a lot of memories with GU. One of my favorite memories is with Lao-Shan Lung, who, because of it, has honestly got a spot in my top 10 favorite monsters. But let's be honest, it'll change tomorrow because I'm indecisive and there's too many good monsters in this series, man. Lao-Shan Lung being a favorite monster, I think, is what the community would call an insane pick. I've only fought it in GU, but I still remember the fight pretty vividly. Friend and I were trying to figure out how to do enough damage to repel or slay him. We tried a few different things and kept failing. After a few hours, we looked up guides, and the next day, we put that new knowledge to the test. We followed a Gaijin Hunter's guide to soloing Lao with no weapon, which I will link in the description because it was a huge help. We didn't have the armor skills he had in the video, but we decided to try the strategies anyway. We only expected to be able to repel Lao since we didn't have the skills as well, especially since our previous attempts didn't even get us to repel him. We timed out every time. But you want to know what happened? We slayed him. We got over our first wall in GU together. We slayed Lao-Shan. The excitement we both felt was amazing. I was so happy we did it. And at the time before we slayed Lao, I was worried that I was holding us down by playing in Prowler mode. But it didn't matter. It never really mattered if I was a hunter or a prowler. I might even say that using a prowler for Lao might have helped, since prowlers don't use stamina, and we weren't running the proper armor skills anyway. I've been thinking about that Lao-Shan fight for a while now, and I think it's made me realize something. I have an unfair negative bias towards World, and honestly don't remember much of my playthrough of it. As I'm sure most people in the Monster Hunter community know, when you talk about World, you usually hear about the low-rank Anjanath wall. Classic. Whether it's exaggerated or not, Anjanath has stayed in the minds of a lot of hunters, and World brought in a ton of new hunters into the series. Anjanath was the first wall those hunters experienced. Lao-Shan was my first wall in GU. What I'm trying to say here is that a monster who was a wall in your hunting journey is likely to stick in your memory. Whether you spent hours or days trying to kill it, you'll remember the struggle you had and your victory. After realizing that with Lao, I'm less critical of world hunters who love Anjanath. To me, Anjanath is just another monster in the roster who I don't often think about. To those hunters, he's a symbol of their victory. Lao-Shan is that for me. And as someone who often has memory issues, being able to remember such an exciting memory with a friend is something I'll cherish, alongside the memory itself. The memories we make as hunters push us forward, whether in reality or in our hunts. It's really the small things that keep us going. Small things like Palicos and being able to play as one. Prowler mode, as I briefly mentioned before, is where you get to be your Palico. And I think it is such a fun twist on Monster Hunter combat, especially with how many different skills you can use. I've talked a little bit about Prowler mode in my other videos, but I want to do a deeper dive into them here, since I've spent over 400 hunts in this mode, and the Generations games are the only ones that have it. Prowler mode is pretty simple, and then it gets kind of complicated quick, but any support move or skill that your Palico has, you can now use as a Prowler. Palicos have 8 different biases to choose from: Charisma, Fighting, Protection, Assisting, Healing, Bombing, Gathering, and Beast. Each bias has different stats and a base move that cannot be taught to other Palicos.
Hey, Ed and Disco here. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the biases and the different categories you can sort them into, because even though you can sort them into just melee and boomerang cats, there's a little bit more to them, and I feel like it's not correct to just sort them into those 2 categories. I'm just going to be taking this information directly off of the Building a Prowler and MHGU from Yamaku. You can sort the biases into 4 different categories. You've got 3 boomerang cats who can use the triple boomerang, 2 safe cats who can avoid taking damage, 2 mountain cats who can unlock the aerial vault when a condition is met, and then the beast cat, who kind of just, it's its own thing.
A very important thing about playing in Prowler mode, however, is that you do not have access to items. Anything you may need in a hunt has to be gained through your gauge. This gauge can be filled passively when a large monster is in the same area as you, when you get hit, or when you deal damage. Since you can't hold items, you don't need to worry about extreme weather or paintballs. You will always see what area a monster is at on the map. You have an infinite supply of nets and pickaxes. You don't need to sharpen your weapon. And on top of all of that, your health is managed a little bit differently. Prowlers can faint up to 3 times before using a cart. Below your health bar, you'll see 2 acorns. These are your extra lives. If you faint and still have an acorn, you'll consume the acorn and be revived right on the spot. Though the little cutscene animation that plays is so long, but you don't have to worry about getting hit through it. Those are the basics of Prowler mode. There is a lot more information out there, one of which I'll link in the description, because it was a huge help to me in figuring out what kind of Prowler I wanted to make and how to do it and what everything did. So if you're interested in making a Prowler, I highly recommend checking it out. Now, I want to talk about my main Prowler here, Tofu. Tofu is a healing bias Palico that is built to be kind of a mix of support and DPS. Since Tofu is a healing bias Palico, that means his special skill that cannot be taught to other Palicos is the True Health Horn. It's basically a mega potion that costs 3 gauge. I also use piercing and large boomerangs, and my favorite, the Wrath of Meow, a small cannon that's just for me. Prowler mode may seem more complicated than just playing a hunter, and well, it did take a bit for me to understand everything about Prowler and how I wanted to build my main Prowler. Despite that, I think Prowler mode was the perfect way to introduce me into old-gen Monster Hunter. GU was my second game in the series, and my first was Rise. The difference between playing Rise dual blades and, well, any weapon in GU is a huge change. I almost didn't play GU because it was so different. Friend showed me that I could play as a Palico, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't have to worry about item management, the old armor skill system, or grinding too much. I could make my armor and weapon from one fight with a monster. It was simple, and I loved it. I still love it. I was able to step into the world of old gen with loading screens between zone changes, the paintball system, the different movement style, without being thrown into the deep end. I was able to wade into the pool for a bit before heading into the deep end myself, as I am finally making and playing my hunter who has been neglected for almost 200 hours. I'm sorry, okay? As much as I love Prowler mode though, I don't think it's ever going to return. I've seen some hopeful that it'll come back in Wilds DLC or the next portable game, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Prowler mode needs the player to be able to scout a lot of Palicos, and those Palicos need to have a lot of different moves and skills. Main team seems to focus on having your Palico be a close companion, a role that is important to the story of the game. You can't even change the name of your Palico in World unless you use a save editor. In Wilds, you can change the name of your Palico without it, but you have to have a Palico edit voucher. So Rise takes after GU and its Palico system, so I suppose it would be more likely that portable team would bring back Prowlers than main team. They are the team that made them, so still, I think it's gonna be a long time before we see them again, if ever. They may be stuck in purgatory with medium bowguns, tonfas, and the magnet spike. But you know, I also said we weren't gonna get underwater combat back, and we have like a beta version of that in Wilds, so you know, who knows? Now, it wouldn't be a GU video without me talking about the gal, Ahtal-Ka. I think she is my favorite final boss monster. It's tough. I think she is. I thankfully went into her fight without knowing anything. So if you want to have that experience, click to this time. Go to this time if you don't want to be spoiled about Ahtal-Ka. I know the game is almost 10 years old, but I would feel bad if someone wanted to have that experience like I did and they weren't able to. So go to this time where I stopped talking about Ahtal-Ka. Alright, everyone that's still here, you want to hear about Ahtal-Ka and see her fight? Cool. Ahtal-Ka, this fucking praying mantis that has a giant fucking mech, is cool as shit. Going into her fight, specifically as a Prowler, where everything is already seen as so much bigger than you because you're the size of like Gammoth's toe, it was a surreal experience. I remember me and Friend fighting Ahtal-Ka for the first time, and when that proof of a hero started playing, oh baby, it was glorious. I think her fight is really fun. I like the fact that she can throw a Dragonator at you, and I just think it's neat to have a monster that can make its own stuff. Ahtal-Ka clearly shows a pretty high level of intelligence. I think most Elder Dragons are technically considered like unequal human intelligence, some of them at least. Though I've only heard that. I don't know if that's true or not. So if it's not, my bad. But I mean, can you really look at Ahtal-Ka and how she fights and say that she doesn't have some sort of like human equal intelligence at least. Like, I mean, look at her. She built an entire mech. Normal monsters don't do this. Her design and her weapons are really nice. I personally have been running the Ahtal-Ka set on my Prowler since we defeated Ahtal-Ka. And Bo, main friend, has actually been running a Ahtal-Ka set as well. It's also just really good. I've also recently re-listened to her theme because it's been a while since I fought her. Holy, her music is so good. I love GU music in general, but her theme is so good. It's amazing. I love it. I love you, Ahtal-Ka. I also want to talk about Valstrax for a little bit because it kind of feels mean to talk about all the other flagships and then not talk about Valstrax. Let's take a dragon and a jet and let's put it together. What do you get? A Valstrax. I mean, I don't really know what to say about him. He's really cool. His fight's really fun. His music is amazing. And the story that's set up when you fight him in the village is just, it's good. It's good. Oh, and those credits that play afterwards. Roll the credits. Look at this. What other Monster Hunter game has weird ass anime credits like this? It's beautiful. I want more. I want more. Speaking of that, my favorite version of Proof of a Hero is actually this version. Monster Hunter Generations is overall a very special game to me. It has some of my favorite themes, my favorite monsters, weapons. Its entire style is unique and fun and whimsical. I love its version of Proof of a Hero, Mark of a Hero. I love its silly little cutscene eating cheese. I love cheese to get your food buffs. It's a good Monster Hunter game and probably in my top 10 favorite games ever. And the question now goes out to you all. What's your favorite Monster Hunter game and why? I'm curious to know, especially for those who have been in the series longer than I have. See you all later. It's been good talking. Happy hunting. Bye-bye.